Hello house lovers, a windy day in Melbourne, but it is time for part 2 of our fabulous chimney special. Indeed, the wonderful, handsome and well-dressed Matt came last week and cleaned our chimneys. In fact, he swept them and he arrived looking the part. It seems then a good opportunity to talk general chimney health and wellness. The first thing that we learned from Matt was in fact that chimneys were well built. So unless there's any obvious issue, you kind of don't really have that much to worry about in terms of the actual construction, unless there's been subsidence in the house or something else is going on. But his point was that these were built to work by people who understand the mechanisms and machinations of smoke and heat vectors, etc., etc. So that was good to know. Essentially, they'll work once they've been opened. The next thing we learned was that generally, as most fireplaces have been converted or blocked off at some point, possibly, you might be lucky and yours might still be working, but they were often capped in some way to then enable either radiators or central heating or just to be bricked up. So the first thing you have to check is how the chimney has been capped off. And I remember from the experience of my mum's house that in fact that was just a paving slab on top of the chimney blocking it. So obviously if you go to light a fire, you're just going to smoke yourself out because it's got nowhere to go. There we are, house lovers. The first thing we should do is check what is, if anything, is capping the chimneys. And you can do that on the roof, alas. Matt actually shone a light up the chimney so you could see what was going on at the top, whether you could see daylight or some other sort of covering, which he was then able to make a guess about. And the other bit of vital information that we learned from Matt, the best dressed chimney sweep in all of Melbourne, was that you need to get your chimneys cleaned about every 3 to 4 years if you're using it infrequently. If you're using it frequently, perhaps a little more often. The next obvious fact is that house lovers, cleaning chimneys is a dirty, dirty business. As you can see, Matt tapes up a shroud over the aperture to the fireplace, but it is inevitable that a lot of airborne dust is going to come out. So a great thing to do is to do this at the stage that I'm at right now, which is just before we've actually commenced the building, or obviously during it, but definitely before you've started to finish any of the interiors, because it's dusty, even with the best will in the world. So if you can do it before or during your build, that is the time to strike. And the other thing that might help if you have to do anything structural or really get inside to have a look is remove the mantelpiece. And as you can see here, that is just what I've done. And in a house of this period, this was built in 1874, the timber mantelpieces are really easy to remove. I'll just quickly show you. As you can see, it is very easy to remove a timber mantelpiece because they are literally just held generally in 4 points, 2 nails either side with these little bits of timber in the masonry. So very easy to remove them. Be gentle, this is cedar, so you can easily damage it, but maybe get a chisel behind it first, lever it a little bit, and then you'll just be able to pull it off. And that helps in being able to clean, restore, strip, whatever you might need to do to the timber mantelpiece. Then the other thing we learned is that you do not know what might be up the chimney itself. Matt joked about bodies and skeletons and such things, but obviously if the chimney hasn't been capped, even if it has, you might find birds or rats or who knows what else. In Australia, perhaps possums have got stuck in the chimney and are either living there still, which is okay, or have decomposed slowly to just offer you a perfectly preserved mummified skeleton. Either way, important to get all that stuff out and just to see what else might be going on there. And then the thing that Matt discovered with this chimney is that, you can see from this footage, there was an asbestos pipe sticking out of the chimney breast just behind, most likely from the early incarnation of central heating that had been put in front of here, or perhaps a stove that was on the other side of this wall and the pipe came through and then up to use the flue of the chimney. It is very important then to have a look inside the chimney just to see what may have been going on, because you do not know what services may have been built inside your chimney at some point, whether it was ducting, piping, electricity, who knows what else. And it could be asbestos, which we discovered in ours, which you want to get rid of. So there you are. Very important. Shine a light up your chimney and see what you can find. And then remove it. Another charming discovery was that Matt had made a bespoke brush, which you can see here. That's the large one that you can see him fixing to his extendable pole. Isn't it lovely to think that there is still someone who is bespoke making chimney brushes? There we are, house lovers. I think we've covered just about everything in our chimney wellness special, except the fact that you've then got to decide what you are going to cap your chimney with if you're going to use it, because obviously just an open chimney pot can allow water and birds and heaven knows what else to come down. So now there is a huge range of modern caps in the market, steel caps, that will allow all the smoke and fumes to exit out of your chimney, but it will provide a cap to stop rain and wind and water penetrating deeper inside your house. And here we are, house lovers, back where we started from with our beautiful slate mantle and our now supremely clean chimney. Quite reassuring to realize that these are so well made that you kind of don't have to worry about it. All you've got to figure out is just cleaning it, making sure there's nothing stuck in there's nothing that you don't want in there, like piping and cabling, whatever, and that the roof cap is removed so that the smoke can billow out and cloud your environment. Thank you for watching our two-part chimney special, and thank you to Matt, Chimney Suite par excellence, for agreeing to be videoed so we can see the magic that he weaves and his bespoke brushes. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a question. I probably won't be able to answer it, but you never know. Next week, we have to see what the asbestos boys were up to out the back. Until then, house lovers, take care wherever you are. I hope things are fine in your neck of the woods. We have come out of our lockdown and the sun is shining, so everyone's feeling a little happier in Melbourne. Take care, and I'll see you next week.